Peace. It's Violetta here with Notice That Therapy PLLC. And I just wanted to come in today and drop a video um, because there's a very tender pattern that I am seeing in the lives of folks that I'm having conversations with, and for that matter, also in my own life. Um, and the pattern is around the tender nature of uncertainty. Uncertainty is one of those phenomena where we might experience ourselves pressured to know, pressured to figure out the next step, pressure to figure out the perfect next step. And sometimes that pressure can influence us to think that we're doing something wrong, that we are not smart enough, that we are not getting something quick enough. Um, and that perspective might be a little short sighted. Why? Why would that be short sighted? Why might not knowing the answer actually be the right answer? Well, a few reasons. One, uncertainty is a part of the human condition. There is no way for a human being to know everything at all times. That is not true for humans. That is not true for other species. There is no way to do that. And so then we place on ourselves these unrealistic expectations to have things all figured out. When really the invitation is to get curious about how we relate to uncertainty, how we relate to the discomfort that comes with uncertainty, and how we then treat ourselves when we are uncomfortable inside of the very human, normal phenomenon of uncertainty. Do we start to talk bad about ourselves, talk down on ourselves, um, call ourselves names? And I mean, like, in pop culture right now, at least this was the case like last summer, maybe it's the case this summer, calling ourselves trash, right? Like, oh, I didn't figure this thing out. I didn't get this job. I didn't do this thing. Like, I'm trash. Like, things like that. That can sound really silly, not a big deal. It's just, you don't really mean it. But, like, no, when we do that, we are helping our brain build neural pathways that collect evidence that reinforces that this thing is true. And so, um, I'm stupid, right? Classic. Like, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so goofy. Like, ugh, like whatever. And maybe in your heart of hearts, you don't believe that thing. But what do we want to be in the practice of? I think one of the solutions to this is, I'm just checking the time. One of the solutions is um, putting more accurate language on what is actually happening. And so instead of saying I'm trash or I'm stupid for not being able to have this like superpower to know all things at all times and make the perfect next step, um, it might be helpful to just sit with like, I don't know. Things are uncertain right now, and I don't know how to fix it. And not knowing is scary. Not knowing is frustrating. Not knowing makes me feel insecure. Not knowing makes me think that I'm doing something wrong. Cool. Now let's intervene on that in real time. I feel so stupid for not knowing what to do. Maybe a more realistic um, interpretation of what's happening is we're living inside of uncertain times. There's a lot of wild things happening in the world that's out of our control. And if the world in general is struggling with uncertainty, then maybe the fact that I am personally struggling with uncertainty is kind of consistent. Maybe it's just really uncertain times, right? So we're trying to see what is generalizable that I am just in the soup of. And if I'm in the soup of it, then it's not personal that I am missing something. Another option can be, instead of, like, we might notice, like, I just called myself stupid. I just called myself trash. Okay, cool. That happened. That's a fact. We can't change that. That just happened. Let's find a way to be tender with ourselves. How do I treat myself when I feel like trash? How do I treat myself when I feel like I'm stupid? I know that that is actually irrational. I know that it's not true, but something in me and my body and my nervous system is telling me that it's true. Um, what does my heart actually need when I feel like I've disappointed myself? What does my heart actually need when I feel like I let myself down? Whether or not that's true, it could be true that you let yourself down. Okay, cool. Does the response to that have to be talking to myself in dehumanizing ways? Or can I do something else? Can I find a way to be a little sweeter? Can I find a way to be more self compassionate? If my friend was saying this to themselves, what might I say if I'm trying to be a good friend? If I know that my inner child is the part that's actually speaking through me, what does that inner teenager actually need? That inner teenager didn't need an adult to come and chastise them. Like, that inner teenager might have just needed someone who could understand and just sit with them as they were confused about what their next step was without judgment. Um, Maybe that inner child is actually an inner toddler, and that inner toddler starts to feel like a burden when they feel like they have let someone down, like their caregiver down. And so maybe that toddler needs something really unique, like hugs and cuddles and kisses or whatever. But if it's you, as an adult right now, who feels like you've let yourself down or your family down or someone down, or you're not where you thought you were supposed to be, you don't know where you are supposed to go next, maybe we can break it down even simpler. Maybe you just need a warm meal in the here and now present. Maybe you need to just ask yourself, have I eaten today? Let me make me something. Let me order something that can get delivered. Have I drank enough water today? What are more compassionate, simple, loving, empathetic, sympathetic responses that might actually be more productive than beating ourselves up? A question to carry. I appreciate you for watching. I'm going to close that. Feel free to leave a comment at the bottom. I'm debating if I want to close comments or not. But yeah, or just carry it to your journal or throughout your day. When I feel really down and I think I deserve to talk to myself something crazy, how can I do the opposite? How can I do something more sympathetic, more compassionate, more loving instead? Is it a meal? Is it a cup of tea? Is it a nice quality cup of coffee? Is it a snack? Is it a nap? Is it a meditation? Is it a brain dump? on a college ruled piece of paper? Is it a phone call to somebody you haven't spoken to recently who can remind you that you are loved? What is that for you? Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.